Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. A couple of days ago, there was a massive outage by the Amazon servers. Amazon web servers went down. It affected millions, if not even billions of people. It was a major outage. No one knows exactly yet what caused it. There are, guesses, estimates. Some say it was a power system failure. Some are saying hackers. Some are saying state intervention. Could be China, for example. But no Snapchat, so the kids were buggered, weren't they? Anyway, in the UK, this had some major effects in government. Customs and Revenue, or HMRC, Revenue and Customs, that went down, and so people couldn't do returns. The Home Office lost use of its national security, immigration, and law enforcement systems. The Department of Work and Pensions, benefits, welfare infrastructure was all affected. The Ministry of Justice, it operates secure information and data exchange systems. The Government Digital Service, which hosts the websites and core platforms and things like that. More importantly, the Ministry of Defence, that uses it for defence analytics and secure cloud collaboration. And also on a similar vein, GCHQ, MI5 and SIS, which is often miscalled MI6. They share an intelligence cloud platform hosted by AWS for classified data. I'm going to suggest that actually that shouldn't be held. Our national security should not be held on Amazon servers. It's just me, perhaps, but I think we really ought to have our own dedicated servers for our own defence and security and intelligence services. What do you think about that one? The DVLA, the DVSA, the Department for the Environment, Department for Health and Social Care, NHS Digital, again, that's an important one. Doctors wouldn't necessarily get to information. Office for National Statistics, National Crime Agency, Educations and Skills Funding Agency, Social Security Scotland, Foreign and Commonwealth Development Office, although to be honest, I'm not fussed if that went down. Companies House, again, people doing their returns. Crown Commercial Services, and who knows what else. First of all, we should have our own servers for, like I say, for the security issue. Secondly, have you ever heard about the phrase putting all your eggs in one basket? All I'll say is other web services are available. We should have different departments using different services, and we should have mirror sites on different servers as well. But why are we allowing Amazon access to all the nation's security details? And of course, more importantly, your medical records, my medical records. The government should have its own in-house system. Triple redundancy, industrial grade protection, not dishing all this out to a third party that might misuse it. Now, why is this important? Why am I highlighting this? Well, of course, the problem is all these systems went down. However, fortunately, all these systems are discrete. This is the one for this. This is the one for this. And so slowly as they come back on, you can go, oh, that one's working. Boop, that one's working. Ooh, that one's working. Ooh, down here, that one's working. As they all come back online. And just because someone has lost information in, say, their driving license, doesn't mean that they've got access to their medical history, for example. Because they're all kept entirely separately, as they should be, according to GDPR and, of course, according to anyone with half a brain. However, imagine, if you will, that you couldn't do anything in this country unless you had an ID card, a digital ID card, that all of a sudden couldn't work because, oh look, AWS has gone down. And so you couldn't be admitted to hospital. You couldn't get money out of your bank. You couldn't go to work. You couldn't buy those pork chops, etc., etc. It goes to show the flaw in the system. And the other thing is a breach. wouldn't just allow someone to maybe see your driving history or your medical records. A breach would give them access to absolutely everything. This is a government going, it will be a robust system. Well, fuck me. The state of our nation's security, MI5, MI6, GCHQ, the MOD. You think that would be a robust system? And it fell over because arseholes make shitty decisions thinking, oh, we'll do this because it's good. No. Let me tell you, when I worked as an accountant for the construction industry, we had a main bank account, yes. We had many bank accounts, all current accounts. We had a NatWest current account. We had a Bank of Ireland current account. We had a Barclays current account. We had, at the beginning, a Midland, which then became HSBC. Us old people remember the Midland Bank, and so forth. And why did we have so many bank accounts with so many different banks? Well, the reason was simple. Let's say, for example, Barclays got hit and we've got to do payroll. Oh, that's okay. We'll just pay out of the NatWest account. You see how simple that is? Also, should anything happen, let's say one of the banks had a cash flow problem and we can't release any money this week or something. We've got money elsewhere. It's not all locked up in one place. We don't put all your eggs in one basket. And we used to move money around all the time. And we'd keep the 4 banks roughly level for exactly that reason. We used to keep data. I'd have 2 different databases. I would use a third database to pull in information from these various other databases. But I didn't put all the data in one database. That would be madness. If that one database fell over, you lose everything. And backups, we'd have the main thing we'd use, which went onto our server. The server also had a mirror server. At night, everything was backed up onto an external NAS box. And that was on a daily basis. It automatically happened overnight every night. And then once a week, there was another off-site NAS box that would back everything up on a weekly basis. The most we could lose would be a week. Backup and backup and a backup of the backup's backup. And 4 different banks. Because shit like this. And the information was held discreetly in different blocks so that no one could access any particular block. And when I was defining systems, I would say, right, I and my boss would have complete access to everything. The build manager could look at this, this, and this, and this. The operations director could look at this, 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 and this, and this, and this. But for example, the build manager could see a whole load of stuff, but he couldn't see the accounts, for example, because he didn't need to. Our operations manager could see some of our accounts because he needed to know, say, position for cash flow, but he wouldn't be able to see like things like bank accounts and things. But he could see who's owed what for, say, subcontractors, so he knew what power he could have over them and how much leeway he had and things like that. We allowed various things. Again, control, access control. When you put everything in to a single digital ID and they steal it, there's no access control. They've accessed everything. It's just basic security. And here we see what happens when it goes wrong. And those wankers are still trying to push digital ID on a very robust system. I don't believe it's robust because it's the government that's done it. The government are idiots. Unbelievable. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot. Bye.